When somebody says something to you, if you're a leader in any organization or any family role, any church, anything, any type of leadership role, one of the most empowering things you can do when someone tells you something, say, hey, I don't know if this is true or not true, but let's call up the source.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast is brought to you by Unlocking Greatness with Jacob Emery, a coaching community built for those ready to become the strongest version of themselves. Weekly calls, proven playbooks, and a community built to grow. Greatness is not given, it's unlocked. Join us today at jacobemery.com or DM coach at jacobemery44 on all social media platforms.
High school never ends. It's amazing when you get into the workforce at any job. There's always drama. There's always things being said. There's always the rumor mill, what you heard on the sidebar conversation, the grapevine, whatever you want to call it. Assumptions make an ass out of you and me. And even as we become adults, that assumption or that behind the back conversation, that sidebar conversation, they continue to happen. And I don't think it ever ends. Whether it's good intent, bad intent, no intent, conversations like that still happen. Assumptions make an ass out of you and out of me. Before you just assume something to be true, I would encourage you to verify some truth. There's this old game called the telephone game. The telephone game starts by you telling somebody something, they tell 10 other people, and by the time whatever you originally said gets back to you, it is completely different from your original message. It's very common to have this happen. One thing gets taken out of context, becomes another thing taken out of context, and then before you know it, the original message was never even delivered. So there was a time in leadership training where there was an example where these issues were brought up, and they were so outrageous and so far from the truth. But someone actually brought it up, and the person said it under their breath, but was called out for it. And this was one of the most powerful things that I had ever seen happen in leadership training. That person was put on the spot, trying to be a smart ass, trying to say something under their breath, but they were called out and had to acknowledge what they said in front of everybody. And instead of taking the high road and trying to acknowledge it in a good manner, they went direct for the kill. They doubled down on what they had said. And hearing it was laughable. Someone actually saying it was pretty hysterical. But that was their reality in that moment. That was the perception that they had created a reality of. What was said was insane. Nonetheless, it was addressed in a way that I had never seen at that point. When somebody says something to you, if you're a leader in any organization or any family role, any church, anything, any type of leadership role, one of the most empowering things you can do when someone tells you something, say, hey, I don't know if this is true or not true, but let's call up the source. So if someone's coming to you and saying, Joe said this, then when that person's telling you, say, all right, I hear you, I see you. Let's call Joe and talk about this so we can get a resolution. Resolve the conflict, resolve the rumor, or confirm the rumor. Nonetheless, get clear on what it is. Sometimes the worst thing you can do is not actually speak up to the person that's creating this drama or trying to create a problem. Squash the problem before it becomes a problem. By acknowledging it and hearing it and not doing that, it just becomes a bigger issue. If the issue's never met and discussed, then what happens? It just becomes a bigger problem. So Joe and Nancy are talking, and Nancy tells Joe, hey, Joe, you're never going to believe what Bob did. And then Joe stops. Instead of feeding into it and acknowledging what happened, Joe just says, you know what? Let's call Bob. Let's talk about this and get the truth on the table. Let's resolve it and see what this was said for. You're not acknowledging that it's true or not true. You're acknowledging, hey, let's get the truth. You're searching for the truth. Not about being right, but getting it right. And what happens a lot of the time in these situations, because I've done this often, the person bringing you this so-called truth, once fact-checked, once verified, was just trying to create a problem. So trust, but verify. When you hear something, confront the topic to the person that's supposedly said it. So Nancy brings you something about Bob, Instead of saying Nancy's calling you a liar or calling you a bad person or whatever, just confront the actual topic to the person. So, hey, Bob, Nancy said that this situation happened. I just want to get to the truth so we can move forward. When you do that, you're not attacking the person, you're attacking what was said indirectly. The person that said it is either going to expose that they did it or did not say it, and it's going to resolve itself pretty quickly. Make sure that you go after what was said and not who said it. Don't attack the person, attack the discrepancy with what was agreed on or what was said, and watch how things turn around. But the most important impact is that original moment when the thing is said, before they even get all the explanation out. Hear them out for a little bit, maybe a few sentences, and then address it with the actual person that started said telephone game. Assumptions make an ass out of you and me, and unspoken expectations become predetermined resentments. So when someone brings you an issue, if they're actually willing to bring you an issue, confront not only the issue immediately, but if it's about another person, make sure to bring another person in right away. Resolve the issue, move forward. Resolve should be handling the conflict then, and it should never really be brought up again unless it's repeated. Resolve it, move forward, and don't assume, because assumptions make an ass out of you and me. Stop telling yourself one day. It isn't about one day, it's about day one. Today should be your day one. What you need isn't another day. What you need is clarity with the community to give you confidence to unlock your greatness. That's what the group coaching program is all about. Confidence, clarity, via commitment. Hit the show link in the notes. Let's start unlocking your greatness now, today.